Howdy, Cousin Patty here. And what is the absolute best bargain you can find? Yappers, it is free. And I'm going to tell you about a freebie that I got from the Ocean State job lot. So come on along. First, let me tell you about the store. It's called the Ocean State Job Lot. I believe it's out of Rhode Island because that's the Ocean State. But you might have a store like this near you. Maybe it's called the Odd Lot or Ollie's or something like that. So you probably know what I'm talking about. And you can find things in there at, a pretty good price, bargain prices. Maybe these items are discontinued from other stores or something, but, that doesn't matter. Anyway, so we usually go here to get our kitty litter because you usually have some kitty litter, some nice kitty litter at a pretty good price. And so we stopped the other day, and as soon as I walked in the store, there was a shelf by the door, and there were some items on there. Now, they have these specials called crazy deals, and you buy the item, and then they give you a gift card for a certain amount of money and or equal to the item that you purchased. So on the shelf right by the door was a stack of art paper. I'll show you in a second. And the sign there said, if you bought $20 or more of this paper, they would give you a gift card for whatever you spent. So if you spent $20 or $30 or $40 on buying that paper, they gave you a gift card for that exact amount of paper, 20, 30, or 40, whatever it was. And I'm standing there staring at it. I'm like, I came in to get $21 worth of kitty litter, but if I buy $21 worth of paper pads, they'll give me a gift card for $21, and then I'll have all this paper and the kitty litter. So the paper is not costing me anything. Or you might want to look at it. I pay for the paper and the kitty litter is not costing me anything. However you look at it, I think this is a bargain. So let me show you the paper that I got. And did I get the kitty litter yet? No, we still had a bag left over. So we were just driving by the store and I said, oh, while we're in the neighborhood, let me stop in and get it. So probably Tuesday when we're out doing some errands, I'll run in and get my 3 bags of kitty litter. In the meantime, I can enjoy some new paper. They only had 2 kinds, but in a couple of different sizes. So I thought I would try the watercolor paper. Now it says heavyweight cold press. It is 140 pounds, which is not too bad, not too shabby. Distributed by Yankee Trader. I don't know what store that is, but this is also out of Rhode Island, but made in China. And this is 12 sheets of 9 by 12 inches. And it regular price would be $3.99. And then there was another watercolor. Same paper, so big I can't hold it under the camera there. Sorry about the glare. Only this one is 12 sheets of 11 by 15. Nice big size. And this was $6.99. So you can see already 4 and 7, that's $11. Well, I only had to spend $9 more, right? So I decided to get some drawing pads. Now these look like they're the same thing, except this one says 11 by 14, 50 sheets, medium surface, suited for any dry media or pen and ink. And it's 70 pounds, kind of lightweight. There's my clock, my bird clock. And this one says 50 sheets of 11 by 14, and it's only $4.99, where this one is $5.49. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but the one that is $5.49 is, I don't know, just slightly bigger. Well, anyway, it came to $21 for these two large drawing pads. So that's 100 sheets of sketch paper and 24 sheets of watercolor paper. Now I'll probably be cutting these up into smaller pieces and doing a little watercolor and then maybe sticking it in one of my journals. So that is my bargain for hashtag Thrifty Thursday, which is hosted by Sheree at Turquoise Dreaming. But I thought I would go ahead and test out this paper and do a little hashtag Watercolor Wednesday. Why not? So I'm going to open this one up, and I have a special project I'm going to try out with this. I have some water. I have a couple of brushes, larger and smaller. I have some small watercolor palettes. I just picked these because they already have some paint in them. Maybe I want to use that up. But then I have this one too because I know I want that color over there. And paper towel. And I'm reaching over. Some quaking aspen leaves. Now, I've never used these in a project, so I hope they turn out okay. But we have a beautiful quaking aspen tree across the street, and I love to watch the leaves. When the wind blows, the leaves kind of do this, like that. Very interesting to watch. Anyway, what we're going to do is watercolor printing. So fall is a very good time to do this because, well, first of all, this tree is like 200 feet tall. I'd never be able to reach up and get a leaf. And right now they're all over the ground, so I just picked them up. So there's going to be 3 steps to this process. Okay, the first step here is just to paint a very light colored and loose background. And then I am going to dry it. And I'm not going to go by the color of that leaf. I'm just going to go by, different fall colors. But I want the background to be a light color. So I might kind of go with this light orange and this ochre over here, and maybe put in a little yellow, and just keep it very loose. Mix up a couple of different colors there. My yellow looks pretty dirty, but that's okay. It's got some green in it, so we're gonna go with that. And this is gonna dry light, and it's okay to leave some white spots and have some darker and some lighter. I've got, using 3 colors now. I've got the yellow, which is contaminated with green. And I've got, I don't know what this is, cadmium yellow, not cadmium yellow, something. I don't label my paint, so I don't remember. And, or maybe it's Indian yellow and ochre, something like that. Okay, just very light like that. Okay, well, maybe I'm going to put a little yellow over here. So this can either be a background page or something we can cut up and use, make pockets or ephemera, something like that. So I'm going to take my dryer and go ahead and dry this. You want to dry each layer before you start the next. As you can see, I added some tape because the paper buckled a little bit. I probably should have done that first, but I wasn't sure how this paper was going to react. But it's quite normal for watercolor paper to buckle a little bit when you get it wet. And most watercolor artists usually do tape their paper down all the way around. I'm not going to be too fussy today. Now leaves have sort of like a waxy cuticle on them to help, prevent them from drying out too quickly. And there's usually more on the top than on the bottom. So because we're using watercolors, we want to make sure we're using the bottom. Plus you have the veins in the leaf, which are a little bit more prominent underneath than on the top. Now this doesn't have very thick veins, so I'm not really sure how this is going to come out. I've never used a quake and aspen leaf before to do this. But we're going to put watercolor on the back of the leaf. I'm just thinking, what color do I want to make it? All right, let's just start with red. For this part, you probably don't want to use a lot of water. A little bit more of a drier brush with a lot of paint. That's probably too much water on this side. This side's better. I'm going to take some of that puddle off over there. I started with a little too much water. I'm sort of mixing kind of like a crimson with a burnt sienna. And I want to get it out too. Don't get your brush too wet. Out to the edge. I love the little teeth on the quake and aspen. I'm going to put some paint on a stem. I don't know if that stem's going to come out, but we could always paint in a stem. I kind of want the outline to show. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay. And I am just going to put it down up here in the corner. And I'm going to press it. Try to get some of that paint transferred onto the watercolor. I'm going to give it a second to absorb the pigment off the back of the leaf. And we're going for a painterly look. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Look how nice that came out. Don't worry about the stem. You can see a lot of detail. Now, I brought in several leaves. They're all the same shape, but they're different sizes. So let's try another one with orange this time. Again, there's two different oranges here. This is probably a cadmium orange and something else. And something else. So it'll take me a minute to work this in like the other one. See, I like this little line along the edge there. Not too much water. I have to tell myself, not too much water. Get it all the way out to the edge. Ooh, a nice one. Now I'm going to show you something how to fix these up at the end. Like I said, this is 3 stages. First the background, dry it, and then fill it up with leaves, and then we're going to dry it. Now you can absolutely positively leave it just like this, or you can do some more playing. In this area, I wanted them to look a little bit more stacked up. And here, I wanted them a little bit more spread out. like 2 separate journal pages there. Or you can take your paints or maybe a watercolor marker or some watercolor pencils. That is a brand new set. I'm not opening that. Let's see, where's the one? Oh, here we go. So, for instance, if I wanted this leaf to be sort of on top of that orange one, I would want to give this one some more detail. So I'm going to pick a couple of colors here. And what I'm going to do is just, that's very light. Let's see if I can get a darker one. I'm going to go around the edge a little bit. And then I will blend it with my paintbrush and some water. But you can play as much as you want with this, or as little. Bring the stem across that other leaf. Maybe you want to add a little more color in some areas, or add a separate color. And then just take some clear water and clean brush. And lightly go over there. Look at adding that nice red onto there. And just adding another dimension. Look how pretty that looks though. Just that little bit of red there. You want to be very painterly. Now you don't want to scrub hard with your paintbrush because you don't want to erase that little bit of texture that you've got there. And you just want to be very loose and painterly. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I like that. Get some dark blobs there. Or you can add another color. Let me get some different pencils. I'm going to get out my favorite Inktense pencils, which are the same as watercolor pencils, but they have ink in them and the colors are just a little bit more brilliant, I think. So if I added some orange in there, I don't want to press too hard. So I'm just gonna like sharpen up the edges, just like where those teeth are, and bring the stem down maybe. I'm just showing you how I do it. Once you got your leaves printed on there, you can absolutely do this any way you want. I think I'm going to add, what can I add? Some of this tangerine. This watercolor paper does have a very textured surface to it. Probably should put some orange in here too, but this is still wet, so I gotta be careful with that. Okay. Sometimes I fuss too much. And when you wet the Inktense, it really brings out their colors. Just a little bit of orange in there. This one's got good texture, so I don't want to muddy it up. Of course, you can go to the areas where there's no paint if you want to, and that'll add a little color there without disturbing the other colors. Another thing you can do with your pencils is just take a wet brush and flick off the end of the pencil like that. Because you know how sometimes the leaves have those little spots of color. And that'll just bring out more color. Let's change pencils though. Get some orange on there. Too wet. Maybe you should put some green. Give the point a moment to get wet. And then just brush it down. All right, it's looking pretty busy right now, but I might let this dry and add just a little bit of gold. This is Schmecky Dry Gold Gouache. So I'm mixing with some water. I'm going to give it a second to dissolve. Kind of looks like liquid gold leaf, doesn't it? It's a really great, great gold. Schmecky Pale Gold. Now I can just leave this container open like this and let this dry and then reconstitute it when I want to use the rest of it. I'm going to have one of my Bob Ross's Happy Little Tree Mints before I finish up. The whole sheet is dry. I'm going to bring it up a little closer so you can see the details in the leaves there. And the gold sparkly on there. And I'm already cutting it up. This is my November Gratitude and Friend Mail journal that was gifted to me. I won it from Rhonda at Junk Journal Diva, and isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. And look how nice it goes with the inside cover paper there. And I'm going to go ahead and make a little pocket here. But I'm going to have to trim this side off. That's okay. So I just trimmed it off a little bit on that side, and I'm going to glue it right down to the inside cover. Make a little pocket. Make a little pocket. That's a lot of glue, but when Possum Patty glues something down, Possum Patty wants it to stay down. Wow. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I was thinking to take the next leaf and decorate the top of the page, the corner, something like that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now this whole thing, now this is a little heavy because, like I said, it's that watercolor paper. But this should hold it down. Loving it. This is the page I did for Trudy's Happy Mail, and it looks like you last saw it, except for, remember I said I would add those pink shells at the bottom, which I did. Well, I just can't stop playing. So after doing that and getting that glue down, I'm like, let's move on to another page. And I like that green one right there, so I kind of ripped this corner out. I'm going to make another pocket, and I saved that really big red leaf because I love this, and I'm going to put this on maybe on a journaling card, so there'll be a journaling space here for when I do my gratitude. And I still have a little bit of this paper left. And I put away the paint, and I just went and got out the gold again because I'm thinking, wouldn't this be nice to put some gold around the edge before I glue it in. So I'm going to channel my inner Janet Nash here. And if you're not a fan of Miss Janet Nash over in the UK, I'll try to remember to link her channel below. But she just loves to add little gold touches to everything. And so do I. Look how pretty that is. Oh, I just thought of something else. Put that over there in the newspaper. Or no, take it off the newspaper. Put the newspaper over here. What if... Oh, I want to cover this. All right. What if I put just a little bit of gold on here? Like that. Ooh, just going to tie it all in together. I got to wash my brush again. All right, let me dry this. Well, the glue is drying, the gold is drying. I've already stuck my finger and my hand in it, so I best just leave it alone for a little while and let that dry. I have some more ideas. I might take this piece and rip around, put some gold, make a little journaling card or something out of it. And I do want to put this on something too. Not there because I want to make this a journaling card, but something else. And this will kind of all go together. And I know I've got fall leaves next to this very summery looking tropical page, but they both have gold accents. Not that it matters. You know me, I just cosmically smash everything together. So I'm going to leave it like this till it's nice and dry and work on these cards. I'll definitely show you when I come back. And I just want to thank you for coming along today for a little bit of a hashtag Thrifty Thursday. The best bargain is free. And a little bit of hashtag Watercolor Wednesday. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say. I decided that I liked the ones that had a little bit more of an open look than the ones that looked a little more solid. But that's all up to the individual. They're both very nice. Or maybe just the leaves that are partly solid and partly open are my fave. Anyway, thanks for coming along today. Happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.